Don't go chasing bull rallies. Please stick to the bear runs and the dips that you're used to. I know that you think the bottom's in, so just buy it all. But I think you're moving too fast. Would you like to learn what are the top 5 potential 1000x high-risk cryptocurrencies? I'm going to be doing DCA Part 2 of what I believe is going to be one of the best ever periods to get all-time best prices on cryptocurrencies that has ever existed. So if you want to learn more about that, plus find out where is Bitcoin going, in the meantime, then make sure you watch on, because my name is Michael K. No, it's not really. It's Michael Suppo, the Suppoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency, and I find you the 100x plus gems. If you love content like this, make sure you smash a like on this video, you subscribe to the Suppoman. So just let me show you exactly what I need you to do in the very short term, is just, quite literally, while you see me talk, smash the, there's chat going on, smash that like button. There we are, and it animates in front of you. Feel Suppo's love, quite literally reflecting through that thumbs up. And subscribe and join 113,000 awesome people in Team Suppo, who I want to make extremely rich. And hit the bell notification and turn it to all so that you can be here live. I have got many years experience in cryptocurrency. 5 years, I'm a veteran. I have seen it all. So if you want to pick the brains and have me analyze your coins, then make sure that you send it in a super chat. That will absolutely get a response. So let me just do my custom usual practice and send this over to the people of Twitter. There we are, it's being done. So there we are, done and dusted, just like that. Right, okay, 2 units. So what we have got at this present time is we have got Bitcoin in a kind of stable channel right now, kind of between the mid-19,000s to 20,700. Well, no, actually, it's not. It's 20,300. Okay, so when it gets to the top of that channel, it tends to retrace. And when it gets to the bottom of that channel, it tends to rise up. Now, there have been massive amounts of speculation as to where the price is going to be going very shortly. Okay, so we are in the last day of August, depending on where you are. If you're in Australia, you're probably in September now. But September is traditionally one of the worst months for cryptocurrency. So I have got somewhere here. Yes. So as you can see here, this is September. And this is the record that September has in the cryptocurrency market. And as you can see, out of nine Septembers since 2013, only 2 have been a bullish month. Okay, so given the macro environment that we are in right now, it is very, very likely that we are going to have a crushing September. Hence why we seem to be at a very weak point. Bitcoin's at a very weak point, moving towards this high turbulence zone. Okay, and this high turbulence zone is positioned in early to mid-September. That is where the damage has traditionally been done. It's typically 3rd of September onwards to mid-September that we see the real damage done. And we have seen upwards of 40% retraces in September, as we had in 2017. And we have had as little as 18%. So kind of the average, about 27% dip. So a 27% dip, just based on where we are at the moment, which is 20,100, that would take us to, even an 18% dip would take us to a new local bottom. Because obviously the local bottom is 17,500. So if we stay where we are, which is happening because of the dollar strength or Dixie strength, then at minimum, we could be expecting a $16,000 Bitcoin very, very shortly. And a lot of this is to do with CPI figures going to be coming out on the 13th of September and the market pricing in a potential aggressive stance from the Fed. So fear at this present time is now at 23. We are now in extreme fear. So we were at 48. I said at this point it was looking very, very ropey. We were very likely to go down, and we have. We have halved the greed, and now we are in extreme fear. Now, I am personally relishing this because this is a period where I believe I am going to be able to make $30,000 a day in the bull market. Now, the reason why I say that is because actually yesterday I lost $30,000, right? Now, it's easy in a bull market, in a bear market, to see your portfolio dwindling, okay? That's all you think about. You think about the macro picture, you think about the long term. You can see that there's potential that Bitcoin won't be getting even close to an all-time high until past the halving, the next halving, which is in around about spring, summer 2024, 2 years away. That looking at that picture, ouch, right? Ouch, more negatives. But believe you me, make the right investments at the right time, and you are going to see the antithesis of that on a daily basis. So yesterday, I would say, was not a crushing day on the market, and yeah, I lost $30,000. $30,000! I could rent for a whole year in Monaco for that much. $30,000 lost in one day. So I'm telling you now, when the opposite happens, when the bull market comes back and you've made the right investments, the right moves, then my God, Mustasign, are you going to be able to make incredible amounts of money. Now, bear with me 1 second. Before I move on, I have got some super chats, so let me get to them because they will just disappear. All right, so Buddy Holidays, just some tokens of appreciation for all you do. Keep it up, Michael. Buddy Holidays, I wish a 100x on your portfolio. Thank you very much for that. I love the appreciation hugely. It really does go a long way. Believe me. What do you think of Affinity? I don't know Affinity. Inia Glasson. Randomly couldn't sleep and checked my phone to see it's 1:50 a.m. and alive from the best crypto researcher around. Finally made another live. Inia, that is incredible. Thank you very much. I love your... Always you make generous donations. Really appreciate it. You are one of Team Suppo faithful, one of Team Suppo OGs. You've been around for ages and I really appreciate you being here. So Affinity I will look at a little bit later. I won't look at it right now. Inia Glasson, what's your best multiplier for 3 cycles time? That is a fantastic question. Okay, and I'm going to deviate because I think that people will be very happy to hear this answer. All right, so 3 cycles is not a duration I expect most cryptocurrencies to last. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about very risky plays in, thank you very much for the 30 Aussie dollars as well, Inia. Really appreciate that. So basically that takes it to 100 Australian dollars, which is unbelievable. So just to let you know what I foresee for the future, okay? So I'm going to be making a multitude of plays. I'm looking to make around about 15 to 20 plays. Now, you may think that sounds a lot, but I've got a lot of disposable income, all right? So I'm able to make pretty much a lot of sizable plays. So about 15 sizable plays, all right? But I'm going to be, you know, at the lowest end, I'm going to be putting in maybe 1,000 or 5,000. And at the higher end, maybe 100,000, okay? So I'm going to be putting the highest amount into cryptocurrencies that I believe are going to last multiple cycles. So if you were to ask me best multipliers for 3 cycles, I would give you three choices, okay? So I would firstly pick Ethereum. All right, so Ethereum is more than likely going to last for 5-6 cycles, okay? It will be around, I believe, for a long time because it is kind of proven by longevity and proven by money flow and positioning in the entire cryptocurrency market. So Ethereum, I think over 3 cycles could easily be a 6-figure coin, and I'm not joking. All right, I'm not joking. I think that, you know, 20,000 is probably where I see Ethereum going in the trajectory to a new a new market peak, to a new bull peak in the next bull market, and then I see Ethereum going to about 63 the next time round. So I could very much see this going to a 6-figure cryptocurrency, therefore making it a 100x quite easily and with no risk at all. And if you buy it under 1,000, which I think that opportunity is going to come up, then Ethereum. Then I would say there's there's lots of choices, but I would say Solana. Okay, I would say Solana because that is having a very, very similar adoption curve to Ethereum in its early days. So Solana has really been about 2.5 years, 3 years max. They've been developing for 5 years, but they have been out on the market and proven by market forces for the last 2.5 years. Now, Solana, I think, is likely to go down to about $10, $10 to $15, and I think that its ceiling in the next bull run is going to be about $1,200. So that makes it roughly 100x, okay? 100x for an asset like Solana, that is unbelievable. And over 3 cycles, I think that it's only going to strengthen over time. And then the last one I would probably go for is... well, it'd probably be Elrond, okay? So Elrond is a higher risk play, but if I was going to make a multi-cycle play, it would be Elrond, because I think in 3 cycles' time, deflation will now be in the mechanism. Okay, so Elrond is designed to be inflationary for 10 years, from 2 years ago. So in 8 years' time, it will probably be in its 2nd cycle or about to go into its 3rd cycle, in which case deflation will have kicked in at that point. So that means that the appreciative strength will be even higher for Elrond. If I was going to come up with a substitute for Elrond, it would be Near Protocol. But there are a lot of fantastic buys. But if you're talking about 3 cycles, you know, sometimes it's better to go with a very sturdy, a layer 1, a infrastructure play than going for something like, let's say, Gala or Sandbox or Decentraland, which could be usurped within 3 cycles. So I hope that that's answered your question, and I think those are the best places to essentially apportion gains made money. Okay, you made the gains, you're looking to park it into wealth preservers. Those are the 3 that I would go for. Kadena is also very strong. When Suppo is live and Harrods is trending, smells like money. I love it. Thank you very much, Tommy, and I appreciate the £5, which is obviously my native currency. So there we are. So I hope that has answered, and I will go to hellos very, very shortly, and I will address your questions in a little while. So the tide is turning, people. All right. So I put a tweet out yesterday where I said that essentially, was it yesterday? No, maybe it was the day before yesterday. Yeah, it was the day before yesterday. Now everybody is beginning to panic, right? Even the people that were saying bottoms in, 70% chance of bottoms in, like Raoul Pal. I follow Raoul Pal. He's a very good macroeconomic pundit. And to be honest with you, he is what provides a lot of education regarding the macro picture and what you need to look for with regards to a recession. Okay, so he has been very educational in that aspect. But he has also been very, very bullish that Bitcoin has hit its bottom. Okay, it hit its bottom on July 17th, June 17th, whenever it was, June 18th. When it hit 17,500, he thinks that the bottom is pretty much done and dusted. And now what he says is, if the dollar keeps going, it's going to really break things. It's literally gone parabolic. Now, the dollar is the reason why Bitcoin, or one of the reasons anyway, why Bitcoin is down. Everything priced in the dollar is going to go down as the dollar and the dollar index goes up. But as it kind of finds some form of uncertainty, then you see Bitcoin going into the same, you see Bitcoin kind of going in, having the same kind of movement. Now, I also think that the market at this present time is trying to price in the potential aggressive stance that may be taken later this month. This has got 13 days to play out, okay? So September 13th is when the decision with the CPI figures are going to come up, and when the CPI will obviously partly determine, along with the PCE figures, determine what the Fed funds rate will be. Do they maintain 0.75? Do they go down to 0.5? Or do they go up to 1%? 1% increase, thus taking the overall interest rate to over 3%. And it's looking, based on Jerome Powell, based on his speech at Jackson Hole last week, it seems very, very likely that it's more likely to be 0.75 or 1 than 0.5 and being dovish. he definitely signaled hawkishness. And whether that happens or not, I think the market is going to try and price in that hawkishness. And so we have got potential to really fall in this high turbulence zone. So I maintain, I don't think the bottom's in. I maintain that I think we're going to hit 12 to 14k. At the end of the day, if we don't hit 12 to 14k, then you are going to be seeing a very different looking Suppoman, okay? So I made this tweet. Can't actually see the body of the tweet. But essentially what I said is that I am going to be mimicking, if Bitcoin does not reach the 14,000 that I have said I think it's going to hit, then I am going to essentially mimic this look for 6 months. I'm going to shave off all my beautiful black locks and go and I'm going to grow my facial hair. I'm going to look like this just to prove a point that I don't think I'm wrong. But if I am wrong, I'm going to do something colossally. I'm going to maim myself essentially colossally to say sorry. So there we are. So as I say, I personally think that we have got way more turbulence to come. And I think that where Bitcoin sits right now, as we enter a high turbulence zone where the market is trying to price in not only the hawkish stance, but also potential Mt. Gox selling of Bitcoin. Now, somebody said last week, I can't remember who, or a few people were spreading a rumour that the Mt. Gox Bitcoin was going to go on the market on the 28th of August. That was subsequently proven wrong because a creditor, one of the creditors, Eric Wall, said that they had not even begun to register for where the funds should be sent to, so it's unlikely. However, over the course of time, I have imagined that this is going to have some form of collaborative, negative impact on the price of Bitcoin. What else has been really terrible, actually? Well, one of the things is JP Morgan, the same people that in September 2017 said that Bitcoin was a scam, they have said on the eve or penultimate eve of the eve of September that you should just sell your crypto. JP Morgan says you should sell your crypto. So David Kelly, chief global strategist at JP Morgan, claims that investors should dump cryptocurrencies. He's convinced that the persistent hawkishness of the US Federal Reserve will spell more trouble for digital assets. He's also bearish on large cap tech stocks. Bitcoin been trading in tandem with those. So he personally believes that tech stocks are going to go down as a result. Bitcoin, that's closely correlated with tech stocks, is going to go down. And therefore, as a result, altcoins are going to absolutely tank down. Now, sometimes you should take these people with a pinch of salt because I think JP Morgan, no, it was Citibank that said that Bitcoin was likely to hit $318,000 in the last bull run. So take these sometimes with a pinch of salt. The likelihood is that you read between the lines. Okay, you just generally take momentum. My personal thoughts is that I don't think the Fed can be too hawkish moving up to the midterm elections. All right, so midterm elections are coming up. The population mood has to be in a good one for the remaining power to stay in. They have to be shown to be taking control of the market and showing that they are controlling inflation. And as a result of that, if everything kind of falls down, it shows real lack of control. So I think that 0.75 is the max of pain that we should see next month. I don't think we should see 1. I don't think things should get really super aggressive until the midterm elections have ended. Having said that, there is some new evidence no one's actually talking about that is suggesting that October could actually be a bad month and we could have 1% increase. Okay, so if we have a look at the Bitcoin monthly returns over the past 9 years, you can see October is generally, so 7 times out of 9, so pretty much the opposite of September, 7 times out of 9, it's a positive month. 7 times out of 9, it delivers fantastic returns to the market. So having had a bad September, look, last year, 33%. In 2017, 47%. In 2013, 60%. All right, so October has been an incredible month. And this kind of corresponds with what could probably happen with the Fed funds rate. However, Something that is making me think otherwise is this, okay? So in 2018, that was the last midterm elections. 2018 was the last midterm elections, and that was the second only time that October has had a bad month in cryptocurrency. The next one, which was a 12.95% drop in October, was also midterm elections. So we could be having this kind of action. We could be having a bad September and a bad October. And then we have a good November for the midterm. Something happens. Maybe they change. Maybe they go much dovish in the end of October. And then November's a very good month. Who knows? It's looking so uncertain. But what I can say is that I personally believe that December, we are going to see December in the lead up to quarter one, 2023, we are going to have a substantial loss being made. And this is not even taking into consideration. This is just looking really at the Fed and macro position. But look, also we've got China, and this is a very new story. China ready to defeat any provocation as 2 US Navy ships sail through the Taiwan Strait. Comes just weeks after US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan, which is an occasion that angered China. So we've got bubbling war also on the cards. So, and this is not even taking into account this story, which I posted yesterday. So this from Callum. So he said, my mum owns a small cafe in Leicester. Her electricity bill has just jumped from 10k a year to 55k a year. She is working out her options, but more than likely she will be forced to close. This, I think, is a sign of the times. It's one person, but it's going to permeate throughout the entire world economy. So it's come on. I mean, I'm the last person that wants to be bearish. Okay, I am, Mr. 100x. I am massively bullish, but you gotta be realistic. Like, it's gonna be a painful time. And the best thing that you can do in that time, amidst all the despair, is to just make some fantastic moves. So I am about to tell you what I think those moves are. But also, Philicone, one of my favourite actual traders in cryptocurrency on crypto Twitter, is far from convinced that a bottom is in. And he maintains we could also be looking at 12, 13k as a low. All right, so he's also looking at, and he said that is on the optimistic side. That's on the optimistic side. So that shows you that there is potential for in his view, for the price to go to 4 figures. I personally think that is a worst case scenario, but I'm not ruling it out. Right, okay, I'm about to move into arguably the best of this stream. But just before I do that, I have got some super chats which I must address. So let me say hi to you guys first. So Digital Sakura, Patrick Stock, Mo7End, Powell, Vin DXB, Cut Joe Tag, Chris, Mark, Sando TV, Samuel, Tommy, Dijan, Caesar, Rock, Bitcoin, The Cuckoo's in the Nest, Martin, King, Leonidas, QWERTY Bertie, Severns, Travis, Edvenus, Lindsay, Hanif, Glinbert, Finn T, Victor, Junebug Smith, Beige, Abelite, Edwin, Metaboss, Geeta, good to see you, Pepaz, Tommy Adams, Buddy Holidays, obviously, The Young Boomer, Big Boss Rasa, Ali, Jess B, Ranu, or Manu, should I say, Mustafa, nice name, Tiffany Scott, Papaz, just want to say thank you for your work, keeping us informed, looking to 10x my portfolio, my 100k portfolio at least. Papaz, I am making that happen for you. That is going to happen for you. You are going to be a millionaire. You are going to be a millionaire. If you listen to me, there's absolutely there's no doubt you'll be a millionaire. Ali Maga, thank you for the 179. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Donny Hoddle, I am still working my 9-to-5 trucking job. I put aside 100k in dry powder from the last bull run, waiting for your mega crash. Will that be enough to flip that into a few million at your buy targets? Yeah, I definitely think so. Like, I think that with the list I'm going to give you now, I'm being very conservative. And with some of the lists I've been giving you, I think I've been very conservative. Because there is no conscience with a bull market. There is no conscience with a bull rally. You know, when the party really goes off, oh boy, does it go off. There's ecstasy, there's LSD, there's cocaine. I mean, the party goes off megarifically. Like there's no calm party in a crypto bull market. Like it just goes nuts, and prices that you never would have thought possible happen. Like with Cryo War, for instance, when I invested in that. It was cents. It was not even 10 cents, and it went up to $4.44. Now that shows you there is no conscience. So a lot of what I will be saying, a lot of my price targets, actually, I think are on the conservative side. But it's to be realistic. It's to kind of give you maybe a profit taking opportunity at that point. But it doesn't necessarily mean the ceiling. So I think that if you invest at quite a large chunk, if you invest 1,000 or less, then you're probably not going to be a millionaire. But if you invest, 10,000, then you should definitely be a millionaire. You could be a millionaire with $1,000, but you are going to have to rely on taking a very high risk and a lot of luck as well. So I hope that answered that for you, Donny Hoddle. And Cut Joe Tag. Moves, hodl or pull out? I'm personally just hodling it. I don't see the point in selling it at this point. Right, okay, Pento Basketball. So let us move now into the nub of this presentation. So here we are, Quarter 1, 2023, Max Return on Investment Part 2. Okay, Max Return on Investment Part 2. This is going to make you salivate, but I am going to say at the same time, do not hold me to these, okay? So risky cryptocurrencies. These are typically microcap cryptocurrencies that could do well. They have some these ones in particular have fundamental strength, okay? So they should have a better chance than your average shitcoin, okay? They should have a better chance than your average pile of crap, no utility, no VCs, nothing. Everybody's hyping it, but then the next day the hype's gone, blah, blah, blah. These should be pretty good. Having said that, these are not guaranteed. Okay, these price points are not guaranteed. But what I can say is that I personally think these are pretty strong cryptocurrencies for the value that they are now and for the money flow that they have in them. So, as per usual, this is not financial advice, it is my personal opinion, and everything I share here is not buy, sell, hodl, it is simply personal opinion. Alright, so what I'm going to be showing you is A, the cryptocurrency, B, where I see the bear peak. Okay, so where do I see, what do I see the lowest price being based on Bitcoin's momentum, where I see that going? What is the bull peak for the next bull market, which could be 2025, could be 2026, it could be 2028, who knows? We are in unprecedented territory where we have basically completely mimicked the stock market now. We have come out of crypto-specific bull bear markets and we have moved now into the macro picture. We have evolved as a species. The crypto species, we've evolved now. We have essentially become part of Wall Street. We're priced in the dollar just like major assets. So I would imagine that once things recover, and Bitcoin and cryptos recover much faster than the stock market, and they recover much harder as well. So I imagine that when we are going into a bull run, we may not be in a four-year cycle anymore, where it's 2 years bull, 2 years bear. We could actually be in a 4-5-year bull market. We could actually see, having had tightening happen, when the easing comes back in, there's going to be gradual growth. And then we could be actually seeing a long sustained bull market. We don't know where things are going and how long it will take to go. But this is where I see the bull peak and the return. And I actually think that some of these returns are going to be quite modest, okay? So, in at number 5, we have got Kadena. Now, Kadena, admittedly, is not a microcap. But Kadena, I think, bought at the right price, has the potential. This is definitely going to be a low cap, or moving into low cap territory at 50 cents. But I think this has the potential to exceed its previous all-time high, okay? So Kadena is, without doubt, one of the most exciting layer 1 blockchains available, okay? It's very unique in where it sits. It's kind of like Mina, where it sits. Mina is the smallest blockchain in the world. Kadena is the fastest proof-of-work blockchain in the world. So it's proof of work, which typically means it's slow. So Bitcoin is 5 transactions per second, and Ethereum is 15 transactions per second, and Kadena is 480,000 transactions per second. So you're seeing the big difference between traditional proof of work and this new kind of proof of work that Kadena has brought out. So it sits unique. People are very excited about it. People really like the sound of it. And there is a big community growing as part of it. So as a result of that, it's got pretty good money flow. And I think that when the bull market comes in, this is going to be a real retail investor's pick. So as a result of that, 50 cents is where I am planning to buy. All right. So if Bitcoin right now is at 20k and Kadena is at 160, then I see Bitcoin going down 12 to 14k. Okay, that is my zone for buying for altcoins. So if Bitcoin virtually loses half of its value, then Kadena I think will lose 3 times its value. So that 160 will go to 50 cents in my opinion. All right, because people are just going to cash out of alts. The strongest altcoins are probably going to lose less value, but the more minor altcoins are going to lose greater value and at greater depth. So Kadena, I am targeting to buy at 50 cents. I will probably buy from 80 cents downwards, if I'm honest with you. But the bulk buy would be 50 cents. So in the last bull market, Kadena went to $28. All right, so a $45 valuation based on the what I would say is restrained bullishness right now. So everybody right now is being depressed, compressed. Their bullishness is not being allowed to come out. All right. So if you think about an altcoin like a inflatable beach ball, all right, the more you press it down, okay. So right now, what's being pressed down on Kadena is a heap load of bearishness, okay. So that bearish force is pushing that beach ball down into the sea, okay. So if you get that beach ball, you perk it onto the surface of the sea, and then you push it down. The more you push it down, and then let it go, it pings up in the air. So there's this compressed bullishness in Kadena. Everybody wants a piece of it, and people are going to probably miss the buying opportunity. It's going to roar up, and it's going to start off the momentum of FOMO. So I imagine that Kadena could, over a pretty lengthy bull market, actually hit 45 cents, which is not even 2x its previous all-time high. And on strong assets, they sometimes 5-10x their all-time high. So a 2x all-time high, if you buy at 50 cents, this could return $75,000 for every $1,000 invested. Hence, I am going to be putting a lot of money into this, probably $10,000, I would say. $10,000 I think I'm going to put into Kadena overall. Try and bring my buy price to about 60 cents maybe. So I would look to be returned basically near $1 million just for Kadena. Okay? But like I said, high risk, but it could happen. In at number 4, we have got Velas. So Velas is another layer 1, it's basically a fork of Solana. The difference is that this has not had the downtime that Solana has had, and plus Velas has not had any network effect built at this point. All right, so Velas is doing a lot in marketing right now. They are on the back of the second. I'm obviously wearing the number 1 constructor in Formula 1 at this time, but Velas has got a massive writing of Velas on the back of the second most successful constructor in Formula 1 this year, is having its marketing, basically, is having its name banded about. Now, does that mean it's going to become a household name? No, but it's a very good start. It shows you how far they are willing to go, how much money they are willing to spend to get the name out there. And they are obviously using courageous tactics for that. So, them advertising on a famous Formula 1 car, the Ferrari, that is a precursor. That shows you how far they are willing, how aggressive they're willing to be, even now. So come, the bull market, this I expect to still be around, okay? Because people are going to be looking for high performance blockchains, high transaction throughput. Solana's obviously one of the most promising. Velas has the potential to go down 1.3 cents. It's currently 4 cents. Now Velas is pretty much a micro cap at this stage, near a micro cap at this stage. So, I would imagine it has much more risk at this point, being as far down as it is and having the money flow it's got at the moment, which is quite low. And given the injection of efforts that's going to go into Velas, come the bull market. All right, I think most YouTubers are going to be talking about it. Crypto Banter's already started talking about it. Obviously, Joe Parry's talking about it. I spoke about this first. I did it first. But anyway, I think this will go down to 1.3 cents because I think this will go down at a faster rate than Kadena. So I think this would definitely lose over three thirds. In fact, no. 1.3 is about a third of the price that it is now. And this could go up to $1. Now, the price that this had achieved was, I think, 60 cents. So it's just off that, and considering that by the time Velas re-emerges, it's going to have more of an ecosystem. They're going to be marketing that ecosystem. It's going to be growing. There's going to be high utility. As a result of that, Velas, I think, has a good chance of being a strong, high-risk coin. All right? There are not very many plays at layer 1 level at that value that has the same amount of potential as Velas. So I would expect for this to return $77,000 for every $1,000 invested. In at number 3, we have got Marlin. Now, Marlin at this present stage is the only layer 0, and this is very surprising to me. Marlin was the first layer 0 in the crypto market. Did you know that? It predates Polkadot, it predates Cosmos. Marlin was one of the first. Now, the people behind Marlin, the people marketing it, VCs behind it, are the exact same people behind Matic, or Polygon as it's known now. I invested in them roughly at the same time. So Matic I invested in, I think, end of 2018, beginning of 2019. Marlin I invested in about 3 months later. Now, layer 0 has not really yet had its narrative. The main infrastructure we look at in cryptocurrency is layer 1 and then layer 2. But layer 0 has very recently come to the fore. Polkadot and Cosmos, they are now looked at the most promising altcoins. And Marlin is very much the low value competitor to those. It came up with the concept. It was one of the first. And when this came out, Marlin actually went to 32 cents. Okay? Now, Marlin, where it stands right now, is 1 cent. Now, if this was to lose 2/3, again, this would take it down to 0.3, like a third of a cent, or just over, or 40% of a cent. So, how much further can Marlin really go down? It could go down to a third of a cent. In which case, a 32 cents, going back to its all-time high, this could deliver a virtual 100x. Okay? Marlin has not exploded, whereas Cosmos and the other one, Polkadot, have already exploded. So people looking for a third bite of the cherry, they didn't get into those two. Marlin is a good outside bet. It's a good speculative bet. So I have already invested in this. I invested in this at IDO, but apparently the IDO price was about 2 cents. So this would make it, getting into it at basically a fifth of the price. So I would make another investment in Marlin at this point. Now, I do need to speak to the guy, Siddhartha, who's the founder of Marlin. I yet have not spoken to him, and I imagine at the moment he's probably too busy to chat. But I do think Marlin is untapped potential at this point. Marlin very recently went up in value, like sizably went up in value. So it shows there are eyes on it, and there is good money going into this. So as a result of that, I think Marlin has just got to wait for its time. It's a bit like Matic. It was flatlined for many, many years before finally it jumped up. So if this was to just go back to its old all-time high of 32 cents, then this would deliver 80,000 for every 1,000 invested. All right? And Marlin, I love the name anyway, because Marlin, they come from Mauritius, and I'm half Mauritian. In at number 2, we have got Saito. One of Suppoman's favourites. One of Suppoman's microcap layer 1 favourites. Okay? Now, Saito at this present time is 1 cent. The lowest I think it's ever gotten to is about 0.5. It may have actually touched 0.4 before. Okay? Back in last year, I think it probably did that in between May and July before the market roared up again. Now, Saito is a layer 1 Web3 blockchain. Okay, so what they have designed is essentially a blockchain designed for dApps that don't run on any browser or via any API or third party. Okay, it can just purely exist within the Saito ecosystem, and is maintained by the Saito nodes that are not incentivized by gas fees. So Saito is essentially a gas problem eliminator in the layer 1 ecosystem. Okay, so there is basically no gas fee or very, very low gas fees on Saito. Now Saito has now reached a zero inflation era. All right, so there is not going to be any more ERC20 tokens of Saito released. Okay, it is now fully vested. All right, so that means there is really fantastic opportunity from this point to grow substantially and appreciate in price because it's now zero inflation. All right, so as a result of that, this I think is going to go down dramatically again. If Bitcoin goes down 12 to 14, this will go down to 0.3%. Okay, so that leaves for it massive opportunity when the bull market comes. So like I said, Saito, now in a zero inflation era they have just entered into. They are developing the ecosystem. dApps are going to be built. Web3 is going to be a narrative. And as a result of that, Saito has got a good chance of delivering massive return on investment. This could go to much, much higher than 30 cents. Its all-time high is, I think, is about 17 cents or something. This could really rocket. Really rocket. This is one of those layer ones not many people know about. Very few people know about. So if this manages to survive, and at the moment they are, they've virtually, fully launched. So now it's just a case of, at this point, development, marketing, and all of that good stuff, which at this present time would be ineffective, because marketing in a bear market is pretty ineffective. But having said that, they need to keep themselves kind of not dying in the meantime. So as a result of that, I foresee this could go down to 1/3 cent, and this could go up to 30 cents. Now that we're in that zero inflation area, where now essentially demand completely overtakes supply. Completely overtakes. It really goes into a massively, potentially turbo appreciation era. This is high risk, no doubt about it. This is not a guaranteed return. Saito could die. Right? Saito could not survive this bear market. Now, they have managed to keep a money flow going. It's admittedly not high. It's not in the millions. But there is a solid community behind this that can be grown upon. All right? So it could be the next Kadena. Where Kadena is now, Saito could get there. So as a result of that, this could deliver $100,000 for every $1,000 invested. And that is just to get to less than 2x its all-time high. So it could happen. It's high risk, but it could happen. Now, I'm going to ask you, what do you think the actual number one is? And while I've got you, I think this is actually a really good time. Pit stop, and as you can see, I'm wearing Formula 1 livery right now, is if you could do the most effective thing you can for me, and that is just smash that like button. If you could do that, that would make me very happy. And again, it would make me come back repeatedly to bring you maybe a part 3. Maybe a part 3. So, what do you think that number 1 is? Let's have a look. This will be very, very interesting. And let me see if there's any super chats in the meantime. I don't think there was. Jimmy Flake, Suppo, you are a legend and I respect you a lot. Best in the business. Thank you very much. If bull runs start in November, how long will it last? A month. It's not going to last long. 2023 is going to be, terrible. How about UFO Project? That's a good one, actually. That actually probably would have gone into number 5 position, I would say. UFO is very good. I've been bullish on bearishness, shorting the hell out of the market, now waiting to see which direction next. Bro, this is one of the worst crashes and regulation is coming. 100x's are pretty much guaranteed to happen. Yeah, agree. Actually agree. Saito has no developers. Well, that's growing. I mean, this is it's just really become open for that. So they are, now that they have moved into this zero inflation era, they are now kind of pushing for growth. So they're making Saito in a suitable position for developers to come, test out the system, etc. So in cryptocurrency, it is sometimes slow and steady wins the race. It really is. Sometimes going all out leads to you crashing and burning. Look at Coin Bureau, right? He's the top YouTube channel. And if you rewind back about a year and a half ago, he was nowhere near that. Okay, he was like 100,000 subscribers. So slow and steady wins the race. But if you deliver on quality and not just try and deliver 100x for your investors, then that is where you're actually going to deliver a 100x. Okay, so let's have a look and see what your guesses are. Telos, Flocky, Telos, Everdome, A0, Scale, Shib. Where do you see Shib going in the next bull run? I see that flying, if I'm honest with you. See it really flying. Bitgert, I don't think so. Baby Doge, no. Casper, no. Suppo, are you planning on doing any more courses on Udemy? I really plan on adding more to my current course, and I only added just a week ago actually. All right, okay, let's get to it, people. Let's get to the number one. So there are a couple of people that said it. The number one, my number one, is oh shit, that ruined it. My number one is, you probably saw it for a second there, Star Atlas. Star Atlas. Jesus. Star Atlas is one of the lowest market caps on here and yet has one of the highest money flows. Now, if you don't know what Star Atlas is essentially the Axie Infinity for Solana. All right, so Axie Infinity is basically the Bitcoin of play to earn. Now, Star Atlas is the Solana-based AAA, high graphics, high quality game for Solana, all right, that has not yet actually been truly built. I have seen the beta version of this, and it looks like it could be a mega game. All right, it looks like it could be a mega game. Now, Star Atlas has, I'll show you very shortly, but it's got huge money flow for the value that it is. And it mimics the likes of Decentraland and the Sandbox. So it looks as if this project has not gone away. This project came out a year ago. It's not gone away. The bullishness has not gone away. This is going back down to its IDO price, I believe. The IDO price was 0.00138. This is going to get very close to that. Now, the peak they achieved was about 30 cents. All right. So this delivered a massive return for me at IDO, a huge return. And the fantastic thing is they gave it to you all at once. So you could just cash it out. So I did cash out. Now, Star Atlas, I think, is going to make a second coming, but better. You're now going to be able to, I suppose, you can capitalize on an actual game, I think, in the next run. So I think it's slightly ignorant sometimes to just focus on two coins. So let's say Decentraland and Sandbox, which I have been doing. You know, I have been this is the Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then there's like Axie Infinity, Everdome, Illuvium. They're kind of bubbling away as well, but they have not fallen anywhere near as harshly as Star Atlas. And Star Atlas, I think, is going to make a monumental return because, you know, games that have got longevity have got the best chance of coming up when the trend returns. So let's look at Seek VR. All right, so Seek VR came out 2017. It was nowhere for 4 years until the metaverse came along. And then it 140x'd in pretty much days. Now, I personally believe that Star Atlas has the same potential aggressive spike coming for it if this can maintain its relevance in the market, which it has been doing for the past year. It's still around. No one has forgotten it. So if it maintains its survival, or should I say, builds an actual fantastic game, which they are doing, the graphics, look at it on YouTube, look at the beta version. The graphics are excellent. They are really making a powerhouse game. The first big crypto game, not like, in my personal opinion, a shit game like Axie Infinity. That was rubbish. It's crap. I've heard of kids playing it, yes. You know, there have been some impoverished countries, populations getting into it and earning some money on the smooth up potion, but the game they thought sucked. It was just good to make money. I think Star Atlas is actually going to be one of those big games that come out of crypto, like Illuvium, but it's got more greater multiplier potential than Illuvium from the point it's going to get to. So Star Atlas, I think, is going to reach near its IDO price, and it's going to go higher than it did last year, which was only on speculation at that point. Solana are going to keep strong. We obviously know the benefits of being on Solana, which is fast transactions, etc. Ethereum has been one of the reasons why Axie Infinity is a pile of crap. And Star Atlas, I think, is going to basically showcase why Solana is fantastic for gaming, and it's going to be the original game for Solana. So I foresee that this could definitely return $100,000 on every $1,000 invested. This could do way better. This could do way better than that. This could be 1,000x. You never know. This could be one of the big games in cryptocurrency. It doesn't even need to really even get into being a big mid cap to deliver a 1,000x. So it just goes to show this has really good potential. So there we are, people. So there we are. We have got 5 coins which you requested. 5 what I would say are pretty high risk, very risky, but with it comes potential very high reward. So there we are, people. I would be keen to know what you thought of that and what you would invest in. And if you wouldn't invest in any of those, what would you invest in then? I would be actually quite keen to see what your thoughts are on that. I think I got a super chat. I can't tell. The super chat revenue has gone up, but I can't see the question. Maybe I've missed it. I don't think I have. So now let me take your questions as well. Thoughts on Dogechain? Yes, so Dogechain, like I said previously, I see it as very much a degen play. You know, it's kind of like, you know, early stage Shiba Inu. Now, I know what it is, and I know that people are bullish on it. It's got a tremendous amount of volume. The volume actually exceeds the market cap, but I have also heard some FUD on it. So I have heard that the Dogechain developers actually sold off a lot of their tokens. So I don't know necessarily. I can't really give that much credence on this fundamentally. All right, because with degen plays, there's not enough scrutiny. There's not enough whale. There's no whale investors. No one really cares. Only the degen community are into it, and that means that the founders can pull off any sort of chicanery, and it won't matter. There's been no consequences. So for that, it gives Dogechain a quite high degree of risk. But certainly, a recent move they played was they actually tried to pay the founder of Dogecoin $14 million to promote Dogechain. So that says to me that they have probably taken some money out. They've converted it maybe into stables, which they can now use to market it more aggressively. So if they have targeted the number one person in number one person is probably Elon Musk, but the number 2 person of Dogecoin to promote Dogechain, then it shows you what lengths they're going to go to really promote it and make this a potential project of longevity. Either that, or they are looking to do an even bigger rug pull. Who knows? These degen plays are unpredictable. So that's what I will say. It's worth a punt, I think, if you don't speculate too high. At the end of the day, you don't lose a lot, and if it makes a lot of money, you make a lot of money, then it's win-win. But I wouldn't necessarily say this was the strongest play, but I would definitely say this is one of the strongest plays right now. All right? Dogechain and Pink Sale are kind of the areas that the degen community go for. So they tend to go for the projects coming out. Let's have a look and see. I've not heard about any of these. Federal Reserve 3.0. No, I haven't heard about any of these ones. But some of the projects coming out of Pink Sale is hold on. Yeah, some of the projects coming out of Pink Sale is what people are going for, but this is not my area. I am not a degen. I mean, I'm a slight degen, but not the extent where the coin literally lacks fundamentals 100%. So that is my thought on Dogechain. I thought your number one token was Moonbeam. Yeah, Moonbeam I would not say falls into the category of risky. Okay, I'd say it's mid-risk, but I wouldn't say it was high risk. Those coins are high risk, okay? You've got to have a high risk appetite to go for those. You know, because they could fail, they could make you shit tons of money. Could go either way. It literally could be 50-50 in most cases. All right, so that's why Moonbeam is not on this list, Beauty and Health. So don't get too despondent if you don't see Moonbeam on every single list that I provide. Because I do think Moonbeam is very, very strong. And they've got 142 projects now. So they are only growing at this present time. Super, what do you think about Chili's? Nothing. I hate it. I think it's a pile of shit, to be honest. I hate these fan tokens. I think they're completely useless. You were useless! Like, there was one that was, half good, and that was because I'm a Formula 1 fan, I was looking into this one, the Alpine F1 Team Fan Token. This was listed on Binance, because Alpine are sponsored by Binance in Formula 1. So yeah, I was kind of interested in this one alone, but I'm not interested in these fan tokens. I think I think that the utility of them are done. They have only a localized utility. All right, so if you're a Formula 1 fan, an Alpine fan, you'll go for this. If you're not, why would you bother? Now, it's listed on Binance, that gave it an extra reason, but other fan tokens, I mean, I just kind of find it, this is not my area. I just don't really like it. Mo7N, thoughts on the idea of Bitcoin to start moving more like the S&P 500 after it becomes less than $1 trillion market cap? The idea of cycles sort of disappears. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. With crypto seems to have now evolved. It's kind of evolved with all the institutional buy-in. You've got JP Morgan, BlackRock, and all the others, Morgan Stanley, all have Bitcoin. Tesla, PayPal, MicroStrategy, more and more entities getting in. It's becoming more of a Wall Street instrument with the likes of, obviously, the CME futures, BlackRock, Grayscale. There's more institutional adoption than ever, right? Which means that it's got the likelihood of mimicking the movements, but cryptocurrencies at the same time have much greater gains potential, With the stock market, it's like, oh, I made 10% in 10 years. Like, who cares? Whereas with cryptocurrencies, you've got, hopefully, the same kind of, you've got a mirroring in how the assets actually move, but you've just got greater movements in the cryptocurrency world. So, yeah, I think that we have potential to go into a real super cycle after this. Real super cycle. Earther and Sand... Earther and... Oh, hold on a minute. Monaco's in the house with Eva Malmborg. And I put the other day where I would personally live, and where I plan to live, maybe in the future, who knows. When I make my massive amounts of, when I make my billions, essentially, it's probably to move to Monaco. I would move to Monaco. Most people go to Dubai, but I hate hot weather, so it doesn't really suit with me. Which is funny, my dad coming from Spain, my mother coming from Mauritius, both hot countries. But I just kind of like the cold weather. Should Red Bull replace Bybit with Bybit is my... Yeah, I know you said Bybit. With Elrond or Near from their car? Yeah, probably. But I think that really the reason why they've got Bybit is because Bybit is super aggressive. Super aggressive with marketing. I mean, let's face it. This is the ultimate environment for a company like Bybit to really shoot up in terms of user base. I've mentioned this many times. Like, this is the ideal playground for leverage trading, and that's why I don't do it, because the risk of burn is super high. But Bybit are the ones that have spent hundreds of millions to advertise on Red Bull, hundreds of millions. So they have given hundreds of millions to Red Bull to be the sponsored to be their one of their most primary placed sponsors. So that's why, but I don't really give much credence to, like, Tezos is on McLaren, I want to say, I can't remember, but Tezos is on one of them. I don't think it does them any good. I think Everdome or one of them, Meta Hero, one of them is on the Alfa Romeo, and it's like, it doesn't really do much good for them. But I guess if you're on the top one, so Bybit, I mean, everybody will probably know Bybit. If you watch Formula One, if you ask 100 people, do you know what Bybit is? They'll probably say no. 99% will say no, but they'll definitely have remembered the name. So that is good for brand recognition, and this is why I think Crypto.com is doing really well. But I don't think it really serves much purpose. I think Elrond will be just fine. So thank you for the question, Buddy Holidays. Wicked question. From Nishant Abraham. I've built my portfolio over months by watching your videos. If I become rich in 2025, it will be because of you. Gonna buy my first business class ticket, fly there and take you to lunch. Love from India. Thank you very much. That's very, very sweet of you. And I really hope I really think you'll become rich. You will become rich. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I think that this is going to be one of the most ultimate times to buy. And it does pose a risk. I will grant you that. If I look at the watch lists I've created, on the high risk side, they're very risky. Okay, because we don't know how bad it's going to get and for how long it's going to stay bad. And as a result of that, weaker or smaller projects are going to be killed off in that time. But if you are investing in these guys, and I've added Helium to this list, and one of the reasons I've added Helium to this list is because of a website that somebody in the Suppoman Masterminds group actually put. This was a really good website, although I don't know how reliable it is. Okay, so Helium. It says here that the issuance rate is 2.15% inflation. So 2.15% inflation is really low. And I don't buy it. Okay, so I went on Misari to look at the real story. And so I don't necessarily know it's true, but I do think Helium is going to be one of the big narratives for 5G and decentralized internet. But if we have a look at where would it be? Metrics? Supply? Inflation rate 20%. So that contradicts this 2.5%. So I've had a look into it, and there is a burn of Helium. So, don't know where the truth really lies. I need to look into it more. But I have added it because I think this is the key player in 5G coming out of blockchain. And it's a very good system. They basically got this long fi system. So they're looking to connect the world to internet with a fully decentralized network with people operating these Helium hubs. They've got a massive adoption. They're growing 10% month on month. They have now got 1 million hotspot users. So it's really growing in adoption. I think this could go down to maybe $1.50 to $2. It's a very strong project. The money flow isn't that great, actually, funnily enough. Aave is only 2x more, and yet it's got 10 times more money flow. So it's not got great. It's not really got great volume, but I think that could help it go down to about 150, and then I think it would be a fantastic bet. Because I think Helium hit. If I have a look. Helium hit $50, I want to say. Yeah, $54. So if it goes down to $1.50, this could be a mega bet, because this could easily surpass its previous all-time high because of adoption alone, and the burning because of increased utility of Helium. Then this could also be a mega play. So I have added it to my bear market hit list. I'm definitely going to be acquiring it. So there's always rationale behind every cryptocurrency in this list. There's always rationale as to why it gets added. So I do personally think that it could do really, really well. And I think that if you're building your portfolio, I think you'll do really well as well. What about Mina? Mina, again, is not high risk. But I would say Mina is more on the low risk side. Maybe mid to low risk, I would say. It kind of reflects what it is as a market cap. So it's around about, it's like it's a mid cap right now. And Mina, I think, is a very strong cryptocurrency. Like I said, very good speculative bet. It's not necessarily one of the best blockchains out there, but it's certainly one of the most unique. And hence why it's on there. So yeah, I would be looking to acquire Mina around about 20 cents. And based on the momentum, I think that could definitely happen. So thank you very much, Beauty and Health. Delulu, top 5 games you think worth investing? Good question, actually. A very good question. And I need to make a list for that. But let me have a look and see. I may have a games list. Let me just check it out. Because I'm kind of aware what's still building. So Star Atlas, Victoria VR. Cities Heroes are definitely still building. Metagods are still building. What's not on here? Let me add Illuvium. That should be on there. I think the reason it's not on there is because it was too high a market cap when I created this list. Yeah, Illuvium is like 4x more, nearly 5x more than Star Atlas. So, yeah, so the gains potential are not as high, but they're still high, I think. I think getting Illuvium about $25 could be awesome. Really, really good. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good list. Chain Guardians is good. Earth is good. There's another one. It's not really gaming. High Street. That one is has a lot of potential, I think. Where does High Street sit in terms of value? 17. This could do quite well. This could do quite well, High Street. It looks like it's got potential kind of to be a little bit like Decentraland. But if we go back... is Everdome on this? Is Everdome on that list? Let me go back to my crypto games. Gaming Moon list. Is Everdome there? No, it's not. I must have done this before Everdome even came out. Everdome I would class more as a metaverse than a play-to-earn game. But you only have to look at kind of... Is it added? Oh, it's added, but... 192 million still! Jesus! So we look at volume. Volume will typically show you what's popular right now, what people are really bullish on. And as you can see at the top of this list, given the size of the market cap, that's not bad. Star Atlas is really not bad compared to, like, for instance, Chain Guardians, Eartha, which is pretty low, Metagods, which is pretty much non-existent now. So it could probably, out of the low caps, could do still quite well. So, thank you very much for the question, Delulu. Sadok Ben Ali, thank you very much for the munch. €4.99. Love it, love it, love it. Pedro Sanhiero, when can we get the Pulse X tokens? IDO coins will come back? Yeah, they will. I mean, you can kind of see what they are right now on the testnet anyway. The balances are accurate to how much you sacrificed. So I would go into the Pulse Chain Telegram group, find out the testnet link that will take you to how many coins you should have. It should be the Pulse X and the Pulse Chain tokens should now be fully visible. So you'll be able to see how many you've achieved from the sacrifice stage. But as for when they come out, at this point, don't know. I haven't really been keeping up to date, but from what I have seen, Richard Hart seems to be... he blames software a lot. He says, oh, if you've ever made software, you'll know exactly how difficult it is, yada, yada, yada. But he certainly seems to not be in a hurry to bring it out. And I think that he's probably waiting for the worst to happen. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So it will come out, but just not yet, I don't think. I think you just have to wait. Oh, hold on a minute. Bear with me. Let me just get rid of some utter prat. Oh, Sadok Ben Ali. Why are you not interested in Cosmos ecosystem? Okay, so I'm kind of interested in Evmos, but from my understanding, this has got high inflation. So I would not go into Evmos at this stage. I'd probably wait maybe half a year, see how this is playing out then. Probably be able to get it for under $1, I would say, at that point. But Evmos I'm kind of interested in because it's kind of like the moonbeam of the Cosmos ecosystem. But I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's just not what I'm interested in. I'll be honest with you. I'm not interested. I'm not feeling it. It'll probably do well. I don't care, to be fair. I'm just not really feeling Cosmos. That's just it. You can't invest in everything. And this is just, it seems too high at this point to get into. The upside seems too minor. Need a drink quick. Mouth's going dry. Not coffee this time. Can we get a link to your list? Good point. Good point. A lot of my lists are not, I've not shared them. And that one, so let me just add the crypto bear market hit list to the chat. That one will go in there. Let me add the gaming moon list. Worth it at this point. Just for you to kind of have an eye for what has come out. It's easy to forget. That's why I have these lists. And then let me do the low deflationary or low inflation coins as well, because that I am conscious I have not yet shared. There we go. Would you consider making a watch list with only deflationary coins? There aren't many deflationary coins. Okay, so there are deflationary coins. So, for instance, a lot of the Bluezilla launch pads were like designed to be deflationary. So there's got to be some criteria as to what goes on here. So what goes in the deflationary list is not necessarily deflationary assets, but more assets that have either deflationary mechanism, like Ethereum will have, like Elrond will have, like Kadena will have, like BNB already has, and FTX already has. It will also include fixed supply cryptocurrencies, ones that will reach a max supply one day and therefore become deflationary, and low inflation coins, i.e. ones that are like 2%, 1%, like Bitcoin, for instance. But that is normally in conjunction with also being a fixed supply coin. So that is this deflationary low inflation coins, which I'm adding to all the time. And as you can see, it's got, Pulse Chain, Tencent, Utrust, Woo Network, Helium, although I think, but that to my knowledge has got a max supply. Saito should probably go on here as well. Elrond, Mana, etc. So most of them are either low inflation, fixed supply, or are deflationary at this point. Have I got FTX on here? FTX is not on there. How weird. But FTX definitely deserves to be on there. Or FTT, whatever. Right, I got to go very shortly. One more question. I'm still holding BSC pad and MetaV pad, and I see it at cash flow. Would it be a good thing to just holding until the bull cycle? Yeah, probably. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not selling them. I'm not selling them, and then when the bull market comes back, we'll see. We'll see how the market lies at that point. But the likelihood is that as I've said, a bull market has no conscience. It's like a aroused man, essentially. No conscience. Anyway, I'm holding them. So I think that they have potential. Obviously right now the movement they are making is very low, is very bad. But in a bull rally, they could really go up. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm keeping tabs on the Bluezilla Marketing Consortium. They're still very much alive. So it's just a case of there's not really a lot right now. What is the best launch pad you think will come back? Difficult to say. I would say Seedify and Downmaker are probably the lower risk ones. SMS Mobiles, thank you very much for the 148 SGD. What about this Fota MOBA game? Oh, this one. Fight of the Ages. Yeah. Is that the one that you mean? Yeah. Yeah, not a lot. I don't really think much about it. Okay, so it could probably do well later. I didn't bother getting into it. I just didn't see the point. So, but thank you very much, Delulu. Have we got anything others? No, we don't. Right, okay. Yeah, so there we are, people. I think that we have essentially covered everything. Everything has been covered. So I think we just got to brace ourselves. Okay, it's going to be a hard period. There'll probably be some bull rallies. Hence why I say don't go chasing bull rallies. You know, just kind of stick to bear dips and what have you. Because I think there's going to be a better time to come. Yeah, if you want to be kind of exposed, have some exposure, buying at lows is fine, but you just never can tell what's going to really happen. Like, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors that goes on at 1% of the 1% level, and you know what has caused this has essentially been the hawkishness from Jerome Powell, and yet you know the PCE figures went down. The CPI figures could go down. And based on the CP figures, which the Fed actually do look at to decide the Fed funds rate, and that's gone down, it kind of is confusing that he would be hawkish when the prices when the figures had improved. So it's confusing with the market. So you don't know, it could go either way, basically. Like, there's no clear direction. So, but my overall thinking is that ultimately, you know, Bitcoin is going to go down to around 12 to 14k and probably go even lower than that. So, you know, long term, I think that we are going to see a really fantastic period of getting cryptos at all-time highs, making savage gains. And I'm telling you, when that bull market does come back, which if you've got patience, it will come back. I'm under no illusions. I've been in multiple bear markets, multiple savage days where I have seen the belief get eroded in cryptocurrency. That I'm not seeing any of that right now. I'm not seeing people quitting. Somebody in my mastermind group yesterday said, I'm done with cryptocurrency. That is what I expect to see on a much grander scale if we're at a bottom or near a bottom. We're not seeing that yet. You know, we're not really seeing the signals of a bottom yet. There's so much more to go. And as a result of that, some of these high-risk cryptocurrencies can make you savage gains, but then at the same time, some of these lower-risk cryptocurrencies can make you almost equal gains. So therefore, I'm going to be mostly invested into the lower-risk cryptocurrencies that I can hold for multiple cycles. You take the risk out of the game. Stephanie Bailey, I missed your super chat. So Shiba Inu drop off after hype, stick around 100x. I think that Shiba Inu is going to be around for the long term. It's going to be around for many, many years, just like Dogecoin. I think it's just going to be one of those cryptocurrencies that just keeps on going up and goes up, particularly with a bull market. Anyway, I've been the Suppoman. You have been amazing. If you could leave a like on the way out, that would be mostly appreciated. But in the meantime, you stay patient and make sure that you have got capital to be able to deploy at the right time. Because you can make an insane amount of money. I've been the Suppoman. You've been amazing. I shall see you next time. Here's lights out.